Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Abdullah Khaled, and today I'm back with another update on my journey. So, today I had a couple of good things happen to me that I think are worth discussing about. The first thing is that because the application deadline for a competitive program I'm looking into is upcoming, I was able to get a call with one of the people who I personally look up to as kind of like a mentor in this kind of aspect. I was able to talk to him about my application materials. He was able to get a look over them, gave me comments for them, and then we also just had a nice chat about like political literature and philosophy. That's something that I want to get more into, especially with my busy curriculum, since I don't really have much time in my classes necessarily to look into that. So I decided to look into that more on my free time. So I got a big list of really cool materials that I think are relevant to both the things I want to learn and the things that I'm doing. So I'm going to see if I can take time throughout the next couple of weeks just to go into them, really look at them in depth, and figure out how exactly their morals or lessons can be tied into what I'm going to be doing now and in the future. And another thing that happened today was that I was able to have a meeting since this semester I have the honor and the privilege of being an officer for I5 Space, which is a club at my AFROTC detachment. I have the position of an outreach officer, which means I'll be in charge of contacting people like speakers and organizations in order to get them to speak and talk at our events. So that's very exciting. I hope to make a big impact on that. We also had a general meeting today, just our first one, to talk about our expectations for the spring and the organization as a whole. That was very exciting. I really admire the vision that our current squadron commander has in mind, and I would like to back them up and making sure that their vision becomes reality, since a lot of what they're changing, especially making I5 space more forward facing and have a larger impact within the community. I think that's uh, very admirable, and I'd like to make sure that those things actually happen, especially since I am in charge of outreach. I already have some people in mind, but until I get some further confirmation on what is happening with those, I will be waiting patiently and working within the best of my ability. I also want to mention that I took a walk today. I think it was a very chill walk, just walking around campus. It was very empty, which was very nice. I, I got to see areas of the city that I don't usually go to or look at much in depth in, but I think that was really nice just to help clear my mind and get some steps in, as that's kind of important. And it's also just nice to be more involved with the places that I'm going to be in for the rest of the semester and for many years to come. On top of that, I also got more into cooking. I think cooking is something that's super cool, and today I had some time to get more into that, and I really enjoyed that today. I made burgers, and one thing that I really like to do with that, just for fun, is that whenever I put the cheese slice on top of the burger, after I cook it partway through and I flip it and whatnot, I get like a little squeezy bottle of water or like some kind of sprayer thing, and I just spray a little bit of water next to the burgers, and then I cover them with like a pot lid or something, so that way the steam gets nice and trapped underneath, and then the cheese gets super melty because the steam is causing it to melt, which really helps get that final finishing touches on the burger and makes it taste super good. And I just want to see if I can do more things like that in the future, because I think cooking is not only important for my health, but also just really fun to do. And I enjoy being able to put my creative efforts into something that helps me physically and mentally as well. So one thing I want to try with this video series going forward is to ask myself some questions or some prompts, because I want to make sure that I'm critically reflecting at all points of my process and making sure that I'm being honest and genuine with myself. So I have a couple of prompts here. My prompt that I'm going to be answering today is, what decision am I currently postponing and why? So about this, I think one decision I'm postponing right now is how I'm is balancing between how exactly I'm going to do my studying, I said that I would be doing more studying with the new semester, and I want to do the very best I can since I want to be competitive for boards in medical school. But I actually haven't decided how exactly I'm going to do that. I think one thing that's causing me to be indecisive in this decision is not having actual classes to go to, since I'm partially waiting for that to see exactly how the class is going to be structured and what kind of format things are going to be and so on and so forth. But I do realize that if I am serious about these kind of goals, that I should be taking the initiative to look at these kind of things myself and implement them, even if they're wrong right now. So that way I can see and get corrected rather than having to start from scratch and not exactly know what to do. I think one thing that I want to work on going forward is being more decisive, even if it means being wrong. Because if I can try something, then I can experiment and see if it works out for me. But if I never try, then I'll never know. And you miss all the shots you don't take. So I think that's going to be one of the lessons I'll be taking from last year into this year. And with that, I like to close off this video by saying that I appreciate you guys for being a part of this journey, and I look forward to many more of you joining in the near future. Goodbye.